All right. For those unaware, Project L is Riot Games, the creators of League and Valorant. It's their new fighting game inspired by Marvel vs. Capcom. It's a tag team fighter, but it stars characters from the Riot universe, from League specifically, I believe. It's been getting a lot of hype because the Cannon brothers are working on it, which those are the people that they created the whole rollback netcode, which is like which Street Fighter 6 runs on, as well as like most other fighting games. And they have a new version of it coming out. But yeah, let's see what the game's looking like. This is the first update we've had in a while.
It's our favorite time of year. So we thought we'd check in and let y'all know what's happening with Project L. From the start of this project, we felt that if we were going to make a...
Oh yeah, it's going to be on Game Pass.
We needed to bring something...
Although I think it's going to be free to play, right?
We're investing in some big ideas that we hope will unlock new kinds
You could tell that Riot been working my man to death. Look at them eyes, boy. That is a man. Hey, man. Cannon brother, man. Make sure you get some sleep. Make sure you don't let Riot work you too hard, man.
Game fans. I'm happy to introduce one of those big bets for you today, which some of you have already suspected. Project L isn't just
which Marvel vs. Capcom? The good ones, not Infinite.
It's a 2v2 team-based fighting game. This means that teams of 2 players can face off together in the same match, with each player piloting a single champion.
Visually, it looks nice.
In a game where you can play with your friends, as well as against them. Let me toss it over to Sean to explain how it works.
Will this outlast multiverses? Oh, definitely. Because it's Riot.
You jump up after?
Yeah, I could do that.
Okay.
I would not name a Project L. Project L is a working title. I'm positive that's not going to be the final name of the game. They're more focused on actually building the game and getting feedback. And then eventually around launch time, they'll probably reveal what's the actual name of the game. But Project L is not the name of it. I promise you.
All right, it's going to be cheap. Are you ready?
Yeah, I saw it, Ronan. It was funny.
Oh, you like that? That's kind of clean. Yeah. You do love to see it. Y'all have no idea how long I've been waiting to talk
Look
about
at these nerds.
This is Clock, one of our game designers.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
Let's get into it.
Did he say my man's name is Clock? What?
About this. This is Clock, one of our game designers.
Yo, what's up, everyone?
I never met a nigga named Clock. Clock? This nigga said, call me Clock, because you bitches know what time it is. The fuck?
Let's get into it. Duo play works a bit
That's
like
fucking great.
One player controls...
Man said, my name is Clock.
Waits off screen for their teammate to find the right moment to tag them in. In our last update, we showed...
He's an old... Oh, he's an old Marvel player? For real? That's a good sign if they're bringing in old Marvel pros.
All of which were designed from the ground up to encourage teamwork. Sharing in victories, defeats, performing combos together, or saving your partner in a clutch moment.
Yeah, I didn't know he was a pro. I can tell you right now, this is going to be one of those games that's fun when you're beating somebody's ass, but when you're getting your ass beat and getting hit by an infinite combo in the air, you're going to fucking throw the controller.
You can experience the game.
Yeah, I'm going to pull the Max video up after this, Lazy. I wanted to watch this one first. I saw the Max in my sub box.
And even 2v1 matchups. So don't worry, solo players. You can still play as a solo tag team fighter and control both champs at once. Fight your own battles or bring a friend. The choice is yours.
Time to throw down. Yeah.
Whatever your setup, our systems are designed to feel fluid and rewarding for players on stage and off screen. And that starts before you even get into a match. Before the game starts, each team can choose to customize.
The fact they're not even showing off a lot of characters says to me they're really focusing on the gameplay right now before they show anything else.
How their champs play together,
like more characters and
calling
shit.
The fuse system. With fuses, you can choose between powerful synergies that change
teaming up with Nomad
style and really allow.
Is that what it means when they said 2v2? So like we can be on the same team and they can tag me in to extend somebody else's combo? Is that what that means? Oh, that's fucking fire. Oh, that's fire. I don't think a game has done that before, right? It's like Mortal Kombat's old 2v2. I didn't play Mortal Kombat 9. I haven't seen that before, so somewhat new then, but it has been done. But that's pretty cool.
Player expression to shine. I want to talk about one fuse called 2x assist. This allows your team to throw out 2 assists back to back instead of just 1. With each champion having 2 assists and some of them being chargeable, there is a lot to discover. But you can always change your fuse for the next match to find out what feels right. We're really excited for all the possibilities here and can't wait to see what you come up with. Team play is at the heart of Project L's design.
I got too many games to play, Ronan. I'm good.
We know it's a difficult design challenge to get right, but we spent a lot of time figuring out how to make duo play something truly unique and special for you all to enjoy and master.
It's funny because somebody brought up multiverses earlier, And he's like, you think this will outlast Multiverse? It's funny because they're kind of going for the same audience because Multiverses had the 2v2 mechanics. Now this shit got it, but like this is gonna be deeper. I'm not gonna be lying. Like if this shit takes off, this would be lit at Evo. Having 4 people sitting in front of the big screen talking shit and like teaming up on one another.
I'm sure you've got loads of questions, so keep them close, because I have one more thing to tell you all. I'm thrilled to say that Project L will have a playable demo at Evo, where you can come try out the game on the show floor.
Sheesh.
We'll have 4 champions available, no sign-up required. Whether you're attending or not,
Nomad and JG are going to be at Evo. Hopefully they get to play it. I know JG's going to go after it because I think I saw him tweet about it. So hopefully somebody in GI can bring it back and talk about it on the podcast.
look out for another update with more reveals soon. In the meantime, go check out this full 2v2 match between 4 of our devs. Link in the description below. Thank you all for watching.
That shit fake as hell, this right here.
Another update with more reveals soon.
Laughing at shit, bro. This is a fighting game. Motherfuckers just talking shit. They are way too happy. Get the fuck out of here.
In the meantime, go check out this full 2v2 match between 4 of our devs. Link in the description below. Thank you all for watching, and see you in Las Vegas.
All right, let's see what Max got to say. Let's see what the GOAT got to say. Yo, this nigga Max need an epileptic warning on his damn intro. God damn, all these flashing lights, dude. Shit is like Kanye.
It's Max here, and oh man, I think you guys have been waiting for this one. So over the past week or so, I had the opportunity to go down to Riot Studios, and with several other friends and colleagues in the content creator fighting game spectrum, we were able to check out and
Ooh, she got the stun with the pistol.
one of the most anticipated fighting games I think of.
That's me going. That's gonna be me with the axe.
So I kind of want to go over in this video core and base impressions. They did give us some B-roll and matches to kind of highlight and show off the game. Please have this running in 4K if you possibly can to see how good the game actually looks.
Oh shit, let me see. Let me see. I didn't even know. My bad, Max.
And
this shit
I wanna
hella
do sort of
crispy.
a rundown of what's in the game.
Only thing is this shit drops the frame rate.
My impressions of the entire experience and where they
Does it look jittery?
going from this point forward. So quickly covering our basis for anybody that doesn't know, Project L is no longer a 1v1 game that we first saw many years ago before 2020. It is indeed a tech.
Damn, it looks a lot better now. Let's see what 1440 does.
Tag team fighting game, a 2 versus 2 game specifically. And one of the most interesting things that Project L is going to be doing that hasn't been talked about too much and is going to be revealed very soon is the fact that this is a 2v2 game. And yes, there is proper duos. You can have one player controlling one character on each team and fighting each other online or offline.
Hey, I'm calling it right now. This is going to create some funny ass moments that since you can actually play proper duos online. And the reason it's going to be create funny moments is because you have to get tagged in. So like if somebody tags you, if somebody's getting their ass beat and they don't tell you, hey, I'm about to tag you in. Oh, bruh. And you get dropped in and get your ass beat. Oh, that's going to create some funny moments. And then also this is going to create some interesting strats if they're making this a core element of the game, because if this shit comes to Evo, right? You don't want and one of the rules, read The Art of War, great book. One of the rules you don't want your enemy to know what you're going to do. You never show your hand to your enemy. How do you communicate when a tag is coming? Like, you're literally going to have to practice so much with one another that you're going to be able to have to just like basically telepath, like, oh, he's doing this combo. I know he's going to tag me in basically. Like, cause you're not going to be able to do some shit and it'd be like, oh, I'm about to tag you in right now, because then they're going to be prepared for it. So that's going to be an interesting little element, I think, that it could introduce. But yeah, I think more than ever, it's actually going to, more than anything, it's going to create hella arguments. Yeah, you're gonna need a designated duo.
Think of the other.
What's this game called? Project L.
Have is the ability for you to play solos versus duos. So if you want to control both characters on a team like a traditional tag team fighting game, you can, or you can play against other people that are piloting the 2 characters at the same time. One person on one character and a person on the other.
This combo's nasty.
So there can be a mixture between like solos and duos. If you want to carry your friend, if they're not specifically great at fighting games, this game will allow for that. This makes a lot of sense for me, and I think for anybody that's been watching my Project L videos that we've talked about it in the past, comes as kind of no surprise because we sort of saw this and the writing on the wall. So I'm just very glad that it's here.
Hey, you tagged me.
This is always a very fun,
Hey, you tagged me, nigga. You give me a heads up.
very welcome thing that I'm super excited for. The game is also going to be at EVO, so we're going to be seeing a lot more impressions of Project L coming very soon, which is fantastic to hear because I'm very curious to see what other people have to say about it because, oh man, this game is mechanically dense. I'm going to start going over some of the things that are present in the game, like mechanically, and we're just...
Does that mean that means scrubs can't play the game or what?
just run off everything that's there before I start giving you my overall impressions of everything. So let's start right at the beginning. It's a 2v2 game. You can tag in your partner, right? You can actively bring in your other team member. They have assists. You can choose what assists they do. Their assists between like a forward and back assist do change. And yeah, the tagging is very similar to something like
Flock play this, or is he gonna be a Tekken demon? I don't know.
Anytime the
Flock might say this shit lame because they got League of Legends characters. I heard it has modern base control schemes with complex inputs though.
Actively handshake.
Is that for everybody or is it like a different control scheme?
Sound, and suddenly you're in control of them while you weren't ready to be fighting that character sometimes. It's very dynamic and it's super fun, but it does take a little while to wrap your brain around it. But
it's sick to see how they incorporated the same abilities from League. Really, that's cool. I don't play League, so.
In terms of movement and mobility, it's got its like usual fare. It does have proper running in the game. So if you want to forward dash, you can dash inherently, but if you hold it, you can run. There's also backwards dashing.
Hey, hold up, bro. That combo is disgusting. She fucking dropped him and then hit him with a projectile to bounce him back up. Yeah, that's the type of shit I'm talking about that's going to piss me off.
Running in the game. So if you want to forward dash, you can dash inherently, but if you hold it...
Yeah, he was laying on the ground and she said, get up, nigga. Oh, yeah, this is going to be one of them games that's going to be fun to watch because people are going to get pissed off.
Run. There's also backwards dashing, and there is proper wave dashing Marvel vs. Capcom 2 style, so that's the light and...
He said, I'm already pissed looking at it.
And then you press down, and then light and medium down repeatedly to just have your character wave dash across the screen. It is fairly traditional when it comes to control layout and normals, where your characters are all equipped with a light, medium, and heavy attack, but they also have a tag button specifically, which is utilized for assists. And
I wonder if they have any other defensive mechanics outside of blocking.
However, it's interesting because if you hold it down, it does eventually tag in the partner, similar to something like a Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
Friendships will be tested.
By default, the tag button acts as kind of like a straight launcher, and I think the only other game I can give a comparative to this to is like Street Fighter Cross Tekken, when you have that like uppercut attack that automatically tags in your other character. That's exactly what this does. There's a little bit of a mechanic tied to that, where if you do this specific attack to tag in your partner in the middle of a combo, you I think take away gray health of the opponent, so there is reasons to do it.
Furries are definitely gonna love her.
This is also attached to the medium and heavy, and you also get a weird ability called a critical strike, where every character can charge their heavy attack, which essentially results in...
They got grappling characters in League? They got a grappling... You think they're gonna be a grappling character in this joint?
A super plus on block mega heavy attack that allows you to like...
What fighting game is this? It's called Project L.
Wild and stuff.
There will be a demo
on every character with down
at EVO.
And you could
they do?
While jumping.
100% set. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty fucking funny if me and Nomad played 2v2s, like played ranked, and he played like a zoner character and I play a grappler. That'd be fucking funny to watch. Fucking zoning and dunking niggas, bro.
They're sort of like caked in every character, and then your basic launcher is down, forward, and heavy. The interesting thing about the game is that there are no special move motions.
This is a League of Legends fighting game? Yep. It's being published by Riot.
And then you also have two other buttons, which are Special 1 and then Special 2. So between Special 1 and Special 2...
I think it's a placeholder coin.
Different. That was currently in...
But they haven't confirmed. I think it's a placeholder. I don't think that's the name.
Between all of them, yes, there wasn't the exact same amount of special attacks per character. There was an interesting amount of variety, where some characters had more specials attached to what they had, and follow-ups and all this stuff, so it wasn't just like, oh, we only get 2 specials per character. No, think of like forward special, neutral special, back special, like all that kind of stuff, you know? But let's get into the defense stuff stuff because this is where
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
has very interesting design decisions. There's a lot of defensive mechanics in Project L, and one of the biggest ones is that the game does not have a traditional push block. It does have push block, but it does cost an entire bar of meter.
Oh no.
You'll notice that there is 3 bars of meter at the bottom. That is for your supers, and it is also for your heavy defensive mechanics, like for example, push block. Push block works really
interesting.
Pushes away assists, which is awesome.
Which means this game is going to promote heavy
A
offense.
lot of space, but man, is it expensive. You also have something called retreating guard, and this
Did
is
they announce any DLC characters? Bro, they only got 4 characters in the game. It's still early in development. They said
back in light
DLC.
and medium. This thing works like a reverse push block. So instead of like the enemy getting pushed away a whole bunch, what it does is sort of like push you away, right? It pushes your character backwards, allowing you the chance to sort of like put them at a distance where you can whiff punish them if they're throwing out too many attacks. However, it has a huge weakness. It completely loses to low attacks. So you have to be super careful of when you use this, but it is a pretty interesting tool to kind of push the opponent perfectly out of range where their follow-up attacks can then be like whiff punished and stuff like that.
How y'all feel about that? I understand why they did it, like the way that he explained it. Basically, if you hit it at the right time, you get a free punish with the pushback. But if they low attack you, that's the risk. They could fuck you up. That is very interesting.
Here's the other crazy one. The game has a parry. It has a 1 meter parry, where if you press light and heavy at the same time, you can do a high parry and a low parries with the down and light and heavy. And it's just a straight up like parry animation that you see in something like Street Fighter 6 with a little bit of a catch window that feels like 5 to 8 frames or something like that. The crazy part about it is that if you're successful and you successfully high parry someone or low parry someone, you get all of that meter back. So it definitely is encouraging where if people are going to be autopiloting their block strings, you're going to get parried to holy hell. After a parry, they're just left susceptible. You can run in and get a full combo, all this crazy stuff. So you have to be very careful of
they're going real hard with the skins because this is free to play. Oh, you know it.
And as of right now, getting meter isn't super.
And I predict this game will be free to play, but it'll be just like every other free to play game in the sense that like they'll have 5 characters that rotate every week. But this is a fighting game. I'm not gonna lie. When it comes to fighting games, me personally, I'll have like 1 main character I play and then like 2 backups. But you can't play every fucking character unless you're one of like these damn pros. So like if they're rotating characters and your favorite character isn't on rotation, this game really isn't free to play because it's going to force you to buy a couple characters.
Plentiful, even though you have different meter gauges for each team member. Yeah, there's like 3 meters on one person and 2 meters on another. That is the way it currently works. There's also wake-up attacks, like auto wake-up attacks when you get up off the ground, but they didn't seem to have like upper body invulnerability. These remind me a lot of Mortal Kombat 11 sort of wake-up attacks that used your offensive/defensive meter in that game. It's kind of like that. It doesn't use anything, but on block, they're really punishable and bad, and you could kind of jump them right now. So they were only so good. They didn't
always
seem like
keeping
a
a few
universal
pocket
DP or anything like that.
characters.
They felt like they might need a little bit of work. Obviously, you can tech out of combos in this game. It's very similar to Guilty Gear, where a combo will essentially quote-unquote black beat, and that means that the combo wasn't tight enough or they hit stunned out. You can tech out by holding a button very similar.
Yeah, the animations are really fluid. It looks much better than when they first showed it.
A quick rise and a back roll on wake up, so there's quite a bit of defensive mechanics that the game is.
I don't know if anybody from the Cannon Brothers or the development team sees this. One thing that I think Street Fighter 6, shout out to you for Artifact, this is fire. Appreciate it. I got you. If anybody from the Riot sees this video, one thing that I really cannot like explain you guys need enough is like Street Fighter 6 got right was when you boot up Street Fighter 6, it forces you to do the basics. So like there's no excuse, you know what the fucking parry button is, you know what I'm saying? Like do the same thing, like take the time to create educational tools if you want to be successful, because I feel like that's part of the reason why Street Fighter 6 has been so hyped. Like those, it had good educational, and then it has the combo trials as well. It has good educational tools versus I feel like in older fighting games it was kind of just like figure it out.
For And last but not least, talking about all the different offensive stuff you can do. Yes, the tag button does a default tag launcher where you can just tag in your partner mid-combo. There is...
Oh, it has a pushback, yeah.
But it isn't just a forward assist or a back assist for, like, you know, the 2 assists your character gets. No, you can actually keep that assist button held down and run in with them. No joke, it's one of the coolest things to have, like, your character running and your assist is running as well. And you can sort of delay that assist by doing a charged assist and holding the attack. It's super sick looking. And then obviously handshake tag. We talked about how the tag stuff sort of works like Power Rangers. And then there's some pretty interesting, you know, mechanics that are there to get you back into the fight if you lose your other character. And it's called Last Stand. And it's when you're below 50% life on your last character. You get
Call of Duty
PTSD assist again, like your character didn't die completely, your secondary one. Your assist can come back and do a really, really big assist.
Shout out to Panda in the chat. He said gaming's dead. I feel that.
It takes a long time to return. It takes like 10 seconds. But it's just something that allows you a little bit of a comeback factor if you are down a character. And the final one is dynamic.
Yeah, like Tekken has terrible new player experience because it just expects you to have played the previous games. Yeah, Tekken's a good example. And like, if you're new to Tekken, you won't even know. Everything in Tekken is about setting up your juggle. If you can't juggle in Tekken, you ain't gonna win shit. But the game don't explain that to you. Fucking play. What the hell?
Save, which acts like pretty much
Project L is the name of the game.
Pretty much a traditional Guilty Gear burst. If you use it, it uses up this green gauge at the top of the UI, and that gauge returns over time if you're like offensive or you're getting beat up or as time progresses. This thing just blows up and, you know, the opponents go flying away, but it can be blocked, and if it is blocked, I'm pretty sure you can get a punish after in a similar fashion to something like a Guilty Gear. So there is a complete like burst bait mechanic going on here where if you see the opponent's going to burst, you can properly do something.
He's gonna burst. Hey, yo.
Okay, I think that's pretty much it. That's all like the movement and offensive and defensive and tag things that are in the game. But guess what? There's actually a ton more, because before you even get to the point of a character select screen in Project L, in this current version of the game, there is an entire groove system the game sets up, which is called fuses. So these are specific gameplay mechanics that'll apply to your team that you have to choose before.
Is that an LTG emote?
And yes, they pretty much are like a
it is. That's great.
Something like Capcom versus SNK 2. Let me give you an example of the 4 that are available in the game right now. One is double assist, where your assist attack can actually get a follow-up attack depending on whatever character you have, which will set up for even more.
Shout out to Panda with the sub.
Strings and mix-up situations. You get something that is called double down, which acts pretty much like a delayed hyper combo in a Marvel vs. Capcom game, where if you want to like use a level 1 on a character into a level 2 of the next character, it'll allow you to properly DHC because the game does not normally
these nerd terms.
There's also the ability to have your character be out there and throw out a super, and you can.
We got a couple LTG fans in the chat. What LTG think of Project L? Has he said anything? What the GOAT say?
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I'm gonna mix you up while there's a big beam on the screen or something like that. That's kind of what they want it to be used for, at least what it feels that way. So that is all included in the double down sort of fuse. And then the other one is a thing called freestyle. And freestyle.
Does this game have grabs in it? I just see a bunch of combos. I haven't seen nobody grab anybody. And like the way my brain works is like right there, like he was just sitting there blocking and she was right on his body. Just grab him.
Tag twice, meaning that you set up a mix-up, you get to the other side of the opponent, and you're controlling the other.
They just playing a certain way.
Side of the opponent. You throw some big combo out or some big block string into like
a
move and handshake back to the other character, and you have no shit a Soul Stone / Marvel vs. Capcom 1 situation where the opponent is locked in between with 2 characters on each side, and you're just getting smashed to bits.
Sheesh.
If there was one moment in Project L that left me with a giddy sort of schoolgirl glee about what I'm looking at on the screen, it was freestyle with double handshake tag.
I wish he would have showed it.
Believe what I was looking at. And then last but not least, the
Okay, there's a grab. Okay, there
in
is.
my opinion, which is probably one of the most effective ones, is called Fury, and it gives you at 40% life for your character, a bonus of stats. From what I remember, it was like damage, if not allowed you
Getting
to
hit
do
from the
more
front and the
damage or
back.
something
Yeah.
like that. So, it was kind of like a rage mechanic for your team if you wanted that to be so. So yeah, that's okay. I think
I feel like I like this axe, dude.
I'm 13 minutes into this video describing the basic mechanics of Project L.
This man getting disrespectful.
Impressions of
Hey, was he pulling an infinite?
roster and the characters, which is
Because it looked like he hit the same combo 3 times in a row, and it all stemmed from him dropping him down and then juggling him up.
obviously like we're gonna see a lot on these characters in the roster. I probably stuck with Darius.
That shit was hella disrespectful.
Like, you know, the most like rock solid it feels. It feels like
This nigga's doing loops.
Ari and Echo took a little while to get used to. Ari's kinda like the Wolverine of the game in many ways. She's got a lot of unique tools. We're going to be seeing more on these characters, and Echo's ridiculously crazy and lots to wrap your head around, but still a pretty decent like beginner character. I don't really want to get into the individual character stuff because I feel like we're going to have a lot of
Yeah,
opportunities.
it all stems from that little air grab he's doing.
I just want to talk about overall impressions. And yes, from what we had played and what I just explained to you for 13 straight minutes, it's a lot, bro. There's a lot of stuff in this game that is feeling like it's directly made for fighting game players, because so many of these mechanics inherently come across as something that is for the fighting game versed. And for any of us, we see these things and you see the potential, you see the possibility, and you see where they go. And yeah, through several people at the event and through myself getting used to the control scheme of the game and everything, you start discovering stuff, and it's very fun. What they're trying to do with all of these mechanics is give you an immediate surface level depth, like absolute laundry list / kitchen sink of things that are possible. And this isn't even including the depth of the characters, where, you know, some characters all have like universal overheads and then some don't, and then some characters sort of have these things that work this certain.
Yeah, I feel like people don't understand, like, when you get invited to these events, especially with a game with a level of depth like this, you try to take in as much as possible, then also you try to wrap your brain around how can you articulate this to people. And then you also try to like enjoy yourself, because like I get the vibe it was a lot to take in, but like usually they only give you like a couple hours on the game, and then you got a developer standing over your fucking shoulder making sure you don't break the game and shit like that. Oh yeah, not break NDA, because there's never been an event where like I knew something about a game they didn't tell me like ahead of time, but like yeah, you can't, there's certain things you can't talk about. It's annoying.
And then some don't, where, you know, there isn't this like sort of homogenous feel throughout every single character in the roster. There's basic combos that work for everybody for sure. However, currently in the game, that's
disrespectful.
No, like, okay, so
Very
how do we
disrespectful.
ease people into it? If you mash the tag button, you don't see some cool tag thing happen, and then the other character comes in. You have to manually set up for all this wild and shit, and then eventually figure out how to do supers. And yeah, every character sort of had 2 level 1 supers and a level 2 super, which acts like a big, you know, Marvel vs. Capcom level 3. So it's fascinating, and I have to say that it does take a while to sort of wrap your head around it. And as we were
2v2 is gonna be fun. 2v2 is gonna be great content.
I couldn't
It's gonna test people's communication skills.
Be taken back by how intrinsically fighting game player focused all of this is. And while it is kind of refreshing to see a fighting game go completely ham on mechanics,
He said this is for the real ones.
I kind of wouldn't be surprised to see some of this stuff toned down, because this is a degenerate game. It is a game where you are going to get opened up non-friggin' stop. So when people start getting used to this hand.
He just confirmed what my suspicion is. I was like, this looked like a game where when you beating somebody ass, oh, it's fun, but when you getting your ass beat, nah.
Constantly mixing between left and right. If anybody has seen Power Rangers, bro, if you've seen how that game works and how you mix people up,
We need Teemo. Is he gonna be overpowered too?
So there's a lot of crazy mix-up opportunities that happen almost
Just like League.
like haphazardly
Good old Riot.
every second, that I'm like, who's blocking this stuff, man? Who is even going to block this stuff? And yeah, you would think, okay, you got defensive mechanics though. However, in my experience, this game is like front-loaded with absolutely ballistic offense, but it does have a lot of defense, and the developers were pretty proud.
He confirmed what I just said too. I was like, I'm getting the vibe this is gonna be a more offensive Because he did mention a couple defensive tools, but it seems like this is going to be more of a offensive-based game.
Mechanics in the game. And as we went over them,
They said put on a show.
certainly is. The biggest issue I had with the defensive mechanics in Project L in its current state is that all of it is kind of expensive.
Have you seen Oppenheimer yet? Nah, I haven't.
High risk, high reward.
I will be watching The Flash soon. It may allegedly.
It's fun, which is something that the majority of fighting games should have. The biggest problem with this much offense is that it feels like you sort of get rolled
In
over
HD?
pretty quick. You're either rolling over the opponent or they're rolling over you super hard every once in a while. So
it's god awful.
kind of feel hard to get people off of you because not every single character has a DP
I feel that.
or like a universal. You see this in a lot of other like 2v2 fighting games, Blaze Blue Cross Tag, if not a power.
Now I was supposed to see it last weekend, but plans fell through. There was no I missed Oppenheimer last week because there was no seats available. The only ones that was available in my theater was like the ones in the front row where you go blind. I'm not watching no movie like that. And then the other movie theater nearby, that shit's ghetto. I don't like that shit. And I'm not driving far for no damn movie.
Like, just get me out of here from this.
I gotta
entire
drive the other
situation.
side of town for a
Albeit
damn
they're
movie.
super unsafe on block. This game doesn't really have that. And while the retreat,
You going to see Barbie too? That's up in the air.
still leave you susceptible to lows, parries.
You're not trying to catch the radiation in the front row.
block costs.
You can really feel the bomb.
Moment meter's kind of hard to get. So I do hope that between all the defensive mechanics that are in the game currently, that something isn't kind of high risk, high reward, because the majority of them are somewhat like high risk, high reward. I would like something at a low risk, low reward, right? Or even a high risk, low reward situation. Because yeah, it feels like you get mauled sometimes, especially when you're playing against people that are pretty good. You got to really block out all of this stuff, and I don't think that the situation that Dragon Ball FighterZ was presented with, which is like this optional like
Disrespectful.
parry, and then you just kind of got to block out all these wild and block strings. As much as that game is fun, I don't think that's a part of the game that is, you know, really looked upon as being like a huge positive about Dragon
Getting
Ball
third
FighterZ.
degree burns
I think
watching the
push
movie.
block is a thing that just feels good in big versus games and stuff. If not,
That anti-air to the
puts
combo
people
was
away from you
disgusting.
in smart
And then he tagged in.
I'm curious
Jesus.
what happens to push block in this game. I'm curious if the green bar at the top is eventually used for anything else. But if we're talking about all my other impressions of the game, and if we're talking about the things that I love about it, my God, dude, when you first jump in and you control these characters, they feel great. One thing that is a huge issue with team games is how they feel. And when you eventually get to all these tag mechanics and how the game functions and how specials feel and how your normals feel and do they all properly combo into really good ways? Granted, I don't think
What's the point of his? Is that just aesthetics? Like his little clones, his shadows?
The good news is that that functionality to this game from this crew making
Can you tag someone in while you're getting your ass beat? I'd be damned if I'm taking that damage. See, booty watcher, you're gonna be one of the ones that's gonna cause a fight. I believe you can. And when you getting your ass beat and you tag him in, your friend gonna get his ass beat because he was already swinging.
has nailed it. And the characters
You the one that's gonna cause an argument.
I got some minor grievances with, like, you know, some special attacks don't feel super special on some characters, but for the most part, does this game feel crunchy or weird or weighted? Do I have any issues?
Does it
with,
feel
like,
crunchy?
or anything like that? No. I'm actually very happy with that, and what kind of a crazy tag game they're making, and I'm much happier that this is a tag game than a.
You can teleport into the after images for a mix. Ah, okay.
Is that I love the interface.
So he's kind of like the dude from Apex Mobile, who would like drop a shadow clone and then go back in time. I guess you can use it to mix people
much of
up.
the character selection.
I forgot his name.
But it's great. It's got a simple style. It uses quote unquote "Let's Go" as a primer and like a jumping point.
Or like
your characters.
oh, girl from
Character
Overwatch.
select
What's
screen.
that?
The music sounded great.
Tracer.
The visuals on the backgrounds and stages, as well as the characters themselves, is pretty much what I.
We run a
want
Project L
a
Discord
Marvel
Discord
vs. Capcom
tournament.
to be
That's what the people
forever.
demand.
And I think they've nailed the art style. They've come up with something that's like very much in between what ArcSys does and, you know, other proper 2D fighting games. And I think they've done a fantastic.
Yeah, like it's like cell shaded, but it still has its own unique look. I agree.
The more polished characters, especially with like Echo, Ari, and Darius.
Got a bad feeling this is going to be slept on? Absolutely not. This game will not be slept on. At least in the beginning. This is being published by Riot. They have too much money. They got these are the people that made League and Valorant, bruh. This is not gonna be slept on. Trust me, they got money. They're gonna make sure. I promise you, there's gonna be a media blitz. Every major content. Remember when Valorant came out and what they was doing with them beta keys? Every major content creator is gonna get keys to stream the shit. They're probably gonna do like videos and stuff like that. Yeah, they're not gonna let it fail.
Character in the game right now is Echo.
Not to mention Riot doesn't put out new games very often, so when they do, they're gonna push it. Yo, shout out to Harvest with the sub, appreciate it.
Can't believe how great.
Who developed Multiverses? That was some studio under Warner Bros.
It's so good, and Darius has a huge amount of weight and impact.
Same week as Combo Breaker.
I am not concerned about how dope the characters are going to look in this game and how they're going to feel, because so far with every single character that has been playable, man, they have nailed it. It's very exciting, and the good part is that the devs were super open.
Right, just like Vintage said too, because this game contains League characters. Also, casuals are gonna come play it too. All the millions of people that play League, they're gonna come and fucking hit their head against their controller and spam characters.
The feedback. Granted, this is going to be a big esports game eventually, and we know that, but they have been saying time and time again that we have to make a great game first before it's becoming an esport. So they get it. It's obvious that these devs understand that they're looking for like high-level feedback even at this point in the game, where they're still figuring out systems and how things work, and we were able to be honest and truthful about how we felt about a lot of this stuff. And yeah, the defense seemed to be one of the things that kept popping up every once in a while when we were talking to people and how the game sort of plays. So yeah, I'm very
pure offense the game.
How all this stuff rolls out. Do not anticipate we're going to be seeing this thing coming out anytime soon, and they are figuring out the core system mechanics, if not obviously what the heck the roster and all that stuff is going to be.
Yeah, so the people that keep asking, is it really going to be Project L? Like, they're still talking about core mechanics. Like, the public probably won't touch this game for like another year. They might have like demos here and there, but like this game is still it's still early development. I think the fact they only showed 4 characters too, Project L, that makes me think even further. Project L is not going to be. It's just a placeholder. This game's going to have a different name,
which is going to be super exciting in the future. Anyway, I can't keep talking your guys' ear off. There's going to be so much more footage and even more stuff that I can talk about.
I'm a fighting game player. I grew up with League, so I'm playing this to death. And destroying casuals. I feel that.
How things are going to go down at
2 more years tops.
There's probably going to be a whole bunch of new information and things to.
I will say though, the fact they're showing this early in development and they're taking feedback, that's a good sign though.
So I can't wait for that. So,
like, what's not a good sign, and shows you how stupid the 2K community is. Every year, 2K comes out. They have a 2K Creator Day, like late August, like right before the game comes out in September, where they fly out a bunch of YouTubers and Twitch streamers. They get to play the game early. And then everybody makes videos talking about what they got to play, trying to give feedback. And I'm like, bruh, Creator Day was in August, mid to late August. The game comes out in September. It doesn't matter what feedback you give. It's not going to change the game. That's the final game that they play. And they think they don't understand how game development works. But like the fact that they're showing the game this early, this is a good sign. It means the feedback that's provided, it can actually be implemented because this game is still a way out. Yeah, they're not changing a thing. The 2K community is fucking stupid, bro.